Anyone else?
Yes.
Sure, Dr. Hubert.
Well, I have a very small, insignificant thing to discuss with the council, and doesn't demand a lot of action, but might save a little money. So I may not have enough pictures here. Can you share one with Adam there? And
That's right, sure.
And I'm here to talk to you about the mowing. And down in one corner is a picture of the new water treatment plant. You see it there? And see how good it looks with all that mowing, and across the street it's well mowed. It looks number one. And then there's another picture of the other side of the new water treatment plant that's also number one. It's all mowed within an inch of its life. In fact, up the hill, if you notice in the second picture, up the hill, it gets well mowed. My concern has to do with the old water treatment plant, this one, which hasn't been used now for 20 or 30 years. It's probably so full of concrete, I would never recommend that it be torn down. It hasn't had electricity. I walk by there every day, that's why I know about this. It hasn't had electricity connected to it for 10 or 20 years. And so it's essentially a non-essential building. Notice how it's mowed. It's mowed within an inch of its life. Not only in front of it, across the street from it, but behind it. And that's where my concern comes in. I think it's over mowed. We spend money for labor, wear and tear on the mower, diesel or fuel, and we spend that many times during the summer. And it could just as well have not been mowed. And so I have a picture here. This one, I don't know whether you find this one, show kind of going up the hill. And if you'll notice, going up the hill, it's mowed on one side and then wasn't mowed on the other side. And they look equally good. To me, they look fine. Now, why do I worry about all that grass getting mowed besides the expense? Here's what that area used to look like. And those are wildflowers. And that particular one is Virginia waterleaf. And these wildflowers vary week to week. And they're beautiful. They change really every week. And there's so many of them that you would swear there wasn't room for any other flowers. But a week later, all those are gone. There's a new wildflower there. So with all this mowing, all those Virginia waterleaf and all the plants that used to live there have been mowed down, and now it's all just grass. I think it probably was better when it was sort of prairie-like and had wildflowers growing there. And so that's my concern. And I think if the city council and the administrator will look around town, I think you'll see other examples, but I'm not certain of this. I haven't done a study or anything like that. I think you'll see other examples of where whoever runs that mower just runs it probably to keep the city boss from giving him something harder to do. He just mows. And he's mowed down my pretty wildflowers. And more recently, if you look on some of those pictures, up the left side of the hill, this is Figgy Hill that I walk in the mornings, up the left side are a bunch of raspberries. They overgrow the road a little bit, wild raspberries. Many people pick them, including myself. And doggone it, 2 weeks ago, they ran that damn mower up there, and they're starting in on my raspberries. And it's insane. There's just no reason for it. Now, I'm not worried about the raspberries. They can mow and make grass for 4 feet. The raspberries will be back there and they'll do fine. But there's just, the whole thing, you can sum it up. I'm just saying, we're mowing too much. We could save a little money. If you put your minds to it, you can save some money. Maybe you can even save 1 employee. I don't know. I brought some other pictures just to give you an idea what can happen. The prairie flowers were there, and if they stop mowing after only 2 years, I think they'll come back, because prairie flowers have an interesting life. They don't all bloom every year. They don't all grow every year. They wait sometimes 5 years. And then they'll pop up. So sometimes, so if we stop mowing, I think the flowers would reappear. That's the point of the story. And then I thought I'd show you what can be done with a little prairie. This is my prairie. I don't have as many of these, but here's one. No, that's okay. There's one. This is a little prairie I planted across from my house 3 years ago. It's now about this high. I don't know what all lives in there, but the flowers change every week, and there's always flowers and prairie grasses in there. Here's another close-up of my prairie. And so I just put that in your bonnet. If you wanted to plant prairie in some places, you could. And Kenny Benson planted my prairie for me. I don't think it cost very much money. I can't remember, but it didn't cost very much. So that's my whole load. Nothing very important, but something that maybe will be.
Doug, were these flowers here in the background? They were towards the back. They were not.
I went back. I took this. This is from 2004, and I went back and tried to identify. I know where it is. It's behind that building. But I thought this leaning tree and all, I'd be able to identify it right away. I couldn't. I can't tell you exactly where it was. Yeah, Jim, you worked there for quite a while, didn't you? So you probably know where it is. But anyhow, I couldn't definitely identify where these water crests are.
Yeah, that's all we do. I would add another thing too. If there's areas where they were before, and if the ground hasn't been disturbed a great deal, if we did a controlled prairie burn, that might bring some of those flowers back that are in the natural seed bank right there. All these things, the birds and even the plants have a secret life of their own. Let me tell you about chicory. I never noticed the chicory until about 3 or 4 years ago. And it's a little blue flower about this big, grows on a skeletal stem, not very many leaves, just a skeleton. And it's a funny little flower that closes every night and opens every morning. And so I was happy to see the chicory. It was all over this town 3 or 4 years ago. The next year, no chicory. None. It must have a life that says we only bloom every other year.